Chapter 15, Early Kingdoms of Ancient India, Learning Objectives, Kingdoms and Empires. The Vedic period, the Mauryas, Guptas and Rajputs. The Pallavas, Chalukyas and Cholas. Let's begin, Papa. What are these lions on this coin? Aren't they similar to the ones on our national emblem? Yes, you are right. These lions are present on our national emblem. They were taken from a sculpture called the Lion Capital of Ashoka. But who is Ashoka? Where can I see this sculpture? Ashoka was a great Indian king. He ruled India thousands of years ago. We will have to visit Sanas to see the sculpture. Would you want to go there during your vacations? How exciting! Yes, I would love to. In the previous chapter, we learned about how a civilization is formed from settlements, villages, and cities. We read about the highly advanced Indus Valley civilization, which began as people started settling near the rivers Indus and Saraswati and practiced agriculture. We also studied about the decline of Indus Valley civilization. The Indus Valley people shifted and moved. It is believed that they sought refuge and shelter in far-off villages. For a long time, no new towns or cities came up. Around 2000 years ago, towns sprang up again, and India saw the birth of the earliest of kingdoms and empires. Kingdoms of North India, the Vedic period, 3500 meant 2500 years ago. Around 2500 years ago, the Vedic period began when people started settling along the river banks once again. This settlement began in the present-day Punjab region. The term Vedic comes from the holy books that these people read, the Vedas. This period continued for almost 1000 years. The various groups of people from the Vedic period who first settled in villages were called Janas. The places where they settled were called Janapadas. They had a chief or ruler known as a Rajan. It was these Janas which grew and developed to become the earliest kingdoms in India. Some large kingdoms include Panchala, Vidisha, and Kuru. Apart from the Vedas, the Vedic age also gave birth to the two important Indian epics, the Mahabharata and the Ramayana. The Janas not only introduced but also promoted the use of iron in India. The better equipment and tools made from iron enabled easier cultivation and lesser hard work. Magadha emerged as a major kingdom with one of the most powerful ruling dynasties of India. The Mauryan dynasty, kings and rulers from the same family line are part of a dynasty. The rulers of the dynasty were called Mauryas. The Mauryan dynasty, 2300 years ago, the Mauryan dynasty made the first empire in India. An empire refers to a large kingdom spread over a vast region where many officials helped the emperor with the governance. The Mauryan dynasty lasted for about 150 years with their capital at Pataliputra, present-day Patna. Chandragupta Maurya was the founder of the Mauryan dynasty, but Ashoka was their most famous ruler. Under Ashoka's reign, many wars were fought, and the empire expanded to cover almost all of India. However, soon the ruler gave up violence and bloodshed and took up the path of peace. The famous courtier Chanakya, also known as Kautilya, belonged to the court of the Maurya. The Gupta dynasty, 1700 to 1400 years ago, the Gupta dynasty took over the Mauryas after 500 years and came to power with their capital also at Pataliputra. Chandragupta, the Samudragupta, and Chandragupta II were the important rulers from this dynasty. They were not only able to unify almost all of India under their empire, but also protected and promoted arts, science and culture of all the regions. one of the greatest Sanskrit poets, Kalidas, lived under the rule of the Guptas. Additionally, the paintings and sculptures in the Ashanta caves in Maharashtra were built under their rule. The Rajputs, 1250–800 years ago, nearly 36 clans of Rajputs established their kingdoms over northern and northwestern India. The Rajputs were brave warriors. They were known for their courage and valor. Some Rajput kingdoms include the Pratiharas, Chahamanas, and Gadahalos. Prithviraj Chauhan was one of the famous powerful Rajput rulers. Under the Rajputs, murals and miniature paintings were popularized. The famous Khajuraho temples were built under their rule. Kingdoms of South India. Almost 2000 years ago, many kingdoms sprang up in the southern part of India. Let us read about them. The Pallavas, 1700 to 1200 years ago, with their capital at Kanchipura. The Pallavas ruled over the kingdoms of South India and the Deccan. They ruled for over 500 years. Mahandavarman, the Rasimhadpu Mahe were some important Pallava rulers. They built many temples, like the Shore Temple at Mahabalipura and the Kanchi Kailasanathar Temple at Kanchipura. The Pallavas were also known for their rock-cut temple style. The Chalukyas, 1500 to 1300 years ago, with their capital at Badami, the Chalukyas ruled over the present-day Andhra Pradesh, Telangana, Karnataka, and parts of Kerala. Pulaksina was the most important Chalukya king. Many temples were built by Chalukyas, including the iconic cave temples of Aihole and Patadakal. Fact frame: the rule of the Chalukyas was known as the Golden Age in the cultural history of Karnataka, as art and literature blossomed during this time. The Chalas 1150–750 years ago, the Chalas ruled for over 400 years and built a powerful empire in southern India. Their capital was at Tanjavur. Rajaraja Chola and Rajendra Chola were some important Chola rulers. The kingdom prospered under the Chola rule as they were capable rulers with enormous armies and a well-developed navy. They extended their kingdom to Southeast Asia by taking over places like Sri Lanka and Indonesia. The bronze and copper statues and sculptures developed under the Chola reign were recalled 2000 years ago. New towns came up and India saw the birth of early kingdoms and empires. The Vedic period continued for 1000 years when people started settling along riverbanks in the present-day Punjab region. Magadha emerged as a major kingdom under the Mauryan dynasty. Chandragupta I, Samudragupta, and Chandragupta II were the important rulers of Gupta dynasty. Prithvi Raj Chauhan was the most famous Rajput ruler. The Pallavas ruled over the large portion of South India and the Deccan. Tanjavur was the capital of the Cholas.